So up until now, you have the theme that happens in almost every single culture throughout the history of Earth, where an old man marries a young woman. And the young woman marries the old man, usually because of riches, or if it's not her doing it, her parents want her to marry him because of the riches, right? It's not his personality, it's definitely not his behavior, it's not how good he is. None of that matters. Like, what matters is the fact that he is wealthy, and it's implied that after the man passes away, the wealth is going to be inherited by the lady. However, we are now entering a more progressive timeline, a more forward-thinking and more sustainable future, in which the gender roles are reversed. And we notice that it's actually the young men that are marrying elderly women for their wealth. The thing is, though, that women are bewildered by this. They are baffled and they do not understand how to deal with the situation because they haven't experienced it before. You see, most elderly men, I mean, if someone is of the age of George Soros or Walter Frey and happens to marry a young lady, he understands that the young lady doesn't actually marry him for his personality or his performance in the sack. The reason that she is marrying him is because of his fortune. And men are fine with this because they get something in return, right? Like, they get some companionship at an age where if they weren't rich, no one would be interested in them that way. It's definitely not because of the personality, because if it's the personality, you don't have to marry the person, you can just be friends with them. Right? So, like, men are aware that they are being, I can't even say taken advantage of, that they're being courtshiped due to their wealth, right? And the women, they also understand what they are doing. They are doing this because the person is wealthy. But when the gender roles are reversed, due to political correctness, we all need to make Pikachu face, and we all need to be shocked when we find out that this 83-year-old woman is coming out and is saying that the 37-year-old man is a selfish money grabber. And he didn't actually marry her for love. How many levels of political correctness do we need to have? Like, just how much do I need to lie to myself and to others in order to pretend that I'm being surprised at this, right? Like, isn't lying disgusting? Isn't lying disingenuous? Like, obviously, I knew from the moment that I saw the article that he married her because of cash. I knew it, you knew it, everyone else knew it. I'm pretty sure that she knew it herself deep inside, but she didn't want to admit. So because of that, we all have to pretend, we all have to live in this delusion that, oh my god, well, say it ain't so. No, oh Dios mío, did he actually marry her because of him being a money grabber individual? No. There was no love there? Oh, I mean, what is the world coming to? Wow, how horrible. Oh my god. So apparently an 83-year-old woman who shot to fame after marrying her Egyptian toy boy lover, more than half her age, has slammed him as a selfish money grabber. I want you just to take a moment and appreciate the fact that when she was 36 years old, 36, the man wasn't even born yet. Like, that's the age difference that we are talking about. When she was 38, the man was 1 year old. Like, if you turn back time, causes for a very interesting dynamic, doesn't it? So apparently Iris Jones, 83, tied the knot with Muhammad Ibrahim in June 2020. And assured critics, who included her family, which insisted that the relationship would not last. Yeah, again, like, you have to pretend this political correctness bullshit. Like, everyone knows it, including her family. It's so fucking obvious. We're not reinventing the wheel here. But no, it's like kind of someone showing you a square wheel and telling you that it's going to run just as fine. And in order to be nice, you have to pretend yes. And then you see every car with square wheels and everyone is like struggling in this new environment because everyone is pretending that everything is not fine. No, like, there is no way you can convince me that the person by the age of 37 marrying with a person of 83 is going to have a happy relationship. It's like winning the lottery. It's not going to happen. I mean, maybe like there is like some chat, like I'm sure like out there somewhere the stars may align, the legend may come true, but in the overwhelming amount of cases, no. No. 3 months ago, it emerged that she has thrown him out of her home and replaced him in her affections with her cat, Mr. Tibbs. You know what's interesting though? If they actually married, he is entitled to half her wealth. Right? She can throw him out of the house as much as she wants, and she can surround herself with an army of cats. But unless the law is going to do some really interesting gender discrimination, no, like he needs to get half her shit now. It's the same way, like if you are an 83-year-old man and you marry a woman that's the age of 37, even if you decide to stop the marriage and file for it, no, she is going to sue, and she is entitled to half your, like that's how the law works. I didn't make the law. This lady didn't make the law. It's the law of the land. It's the law of the king. You gotta do it. So in a post on Facebook, who once boasted of the great sex the couple has said, you know, normal people don't do that though. Like they have a little bit of decorum. Like you don't just go on the internet and you're like, oh my god, it's such good. I wish to tell you all the truth about the relationship between Muhammad and myself from the day her first messaged me until now. So Muhammad and I became friends on Messenger. He seemed like a nice bloke, and right from the start, he was forced into a marriage, and that as a result, 4 children were born. He was going through a divorce. Oh, okay, so it's like a previous marriage, because I was wondering, like, how, wait, like, really? But no, it was with another lady. So he was going through a divorce and felt that I was the person who could understand and that he could talk to. He sent me photos of himself, and I told him, you will soon find someone else. Good-looking chap like yourself. I told him about myself and an old biddy pushing 79 with 2 grown-up sons older than him, but married and living not far from me. Our message to one another continued that I began to realize he was getting to be more loving, and on July 2019 he proposed. Do you think they cybered? Huh? Do you think they yiffed? I think they yiffed. I genuinely think that, right? Like the distance. He'd never seen what I looked like, and my first reaction is, you are bloody mad. But the love bombing continued. I flew to Cairo to meet him. I had taken several £1,000s with me, and I paid all of his debts. And he had been borrowing on his credit card. We had a wonderful time, and I stayed for a month. We tried to get married, but we didn't have the correct paperwork. Iris then went down to describe now an official at the British Embassy in Cairo called John Neal warned her, don't give him any money. Yeah, I mean, dude. Sadly, she failed and listened to his advice and wrote how the next time she went to visit, Muhammad took £15,000 and handed it to him. You know, like, here's the difference, though. There are men who do this for women, and they don't regret it. Like, unironically, there is like this thing where men are like, oh, I don't like a gold digger. There are men who like gold diggers, right? And they understand how the relationship functions. Like, this is not something that necessarily everyone regrets. But like in this situation, it seems that the lady does regret doing this. But like, you chose not to listen to anyone. You chose not to listen to your family. You chose not to listen to the people around you. You chose not to listen to the public. You chose not to listen to any of that. And instead you even acted smug. And you posted on Instagram saying, the hell do you all know? It's like, okay, sure. But now, consequences are never going to be the same. So COVID had the attempts to get married were thwarted by the pandemic. And apparently I had £40,000 in my bank account. And I handed over my bank card to Muhammad every day. And we were drawing 1,000 Egyptian pounds daily. This was to pay for living expenses, eating out, a honeymoon in Sharm el Sheikh, and generally enjoying the high life. After 3 months in Egypt, Irish returned to the UK, and she left Cairo. She wrote how Mohammed had told her, check your bank account when you get back to Heathrow. I think you'll have about 9 grand in there. Furious, Irish stormed. He was absolutely correct. 9,000 pounds left of 40,000 pounds. Mohammed has never had a job and has never had any money. I used to say to people that we shared expenses, but my money paid for everything. Iris added how even when back in the UK, Mohammed would ask for more money and she sent him another 40,000 pounds. She's experiencing life as a man, chat. Like, this is literally what's happening. She's describing the life of an average guy. Am I the only one who's looking at this and I'm like, yeah, you know, like, my friends do the same. Like, there's like, well, where's the problem? It's like, this is normal. Like, this is the gender abolition movement. They're not abolishing gender. They're sweeping the gender roles. They're reversing it. Like, I'm fine with that. I personally would like to get like 30,000 pounds. Still, I probably wouldn't with this particular lady, and I am married. But like, assuming I would be single, and it's like a 40-year-old woman. How much? 40,000 pounds? In November 2021, Mohammed obtained a spousal visa and was able to travel to the UK, where he was allowed to stay for 2 years. To satisfy the Home Office, Iris paid money into his account so that it wouldn't look as if he was sponging off the state. Yeah, like, look, at every point of the way, this was done with deceit. She lied to her family, she lied to the crown, she tried to manipulate things in order to seem that everything is fine. Deep inside, she knew that it wasn't fine. Deep inside, she always knew, right? But like, for some reason, we have to pretend, and if anyone called her out on the BS, she would get upset. And this is why she's in the situation she is now. It's like, when you think that you're smarter than the entire world, chances are that you're probably not. Chances are that the entire world has a collective of intelligence much higher than that of an average person. So apparently, to satisfy, she paid it to his account. So even after keeping a job at a local supermarket, Irish wrote how he would still keep asking for money. So much that she gave him another 26,000 pounds. She went on and said that at stage that he needed another 40,000 pounds. Well, we will have to whistle for it because I haven't got it. I decided that the relationship then started to deteriorate, with the numerous rows, especially after Mohammed learned he would not be inheriting her seaside bungalow. But why isn't he inheriting the seaside bungalow? Huh? Mohammed offered to give Iris the names of women who were coming onto him if she changed her will, and telling on her post she wrote, this occurred to me that maybe that's why he married me. Yeah, but like, how does the law of marriage work in Britain? Like, oh, I think it's because the bungalow is before the marriage, right? So like, stuff you have before the marriage does it, because that's how it works in my country. I'm not sure if it's the same in Britain, but like here, stuff that we have before the marriage is considered to be our own, and stuff that we get during the marriage is considered to be common goods. So maybe it's the same in Britain. There is much more I can say at this juncture, but it would involve legal issues. Oh, never mind. Like, she's getting sued. So, yeah, all right. From Muhammad's behavior, I learned that he was displaying many of the traits of narcissism. Again, she's describing life as a man. Like, this is how men experience. The men are fine with it. Like, if you get, like, a 20-year-old waifu, and you're 60, and she's displaying, well, like, traits of narcissism and asking you for cash, it's fine. It's normal. Like, it's not bewildering, right? Like, no man is going to go and tell his friends, like, let me tell you what happened. And they will be like, oh, no, really? So she researched the condition, but Mohammed wouldn't listen. He was always right, I was always wrong. And after another vitriolic roll, she told him to go. It was one of the hardest decisions I have ever made, as for love of my Mohammed was genuine. Was no good pretending that things would improve. I let my head rule my heart. No, you didn't let your head rule your heart. You refused to listen to anyone that was speaking common sense. You flat out lied to people. You tried to manipulate people into thinking that everything is fine. And everything was not fine. You knew it. He knew it. Everyone else knew it. But it is what it is. You know, and this is why we actually have these situations, because of this political correctness, where you have to pretend that no, like this is fine. No, it's none of your business. How does it affect you, etc., etc. Well, eventually consequences exist. Let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to check the pinned comment in the comment section. Take care.